Hi, YouTubers. Auntie Donna decided to help a university student after she saw in the papers, I believe it was the Gleaner, where Carly needed help in paying her tuition. And Auntie Donna said it's the first time ever of her doing such a donation. She has never helped any university students before, and she said it will be the first of many to come. Now she had two laptops that she was giving away, and people were calling left, right, and center to get it. And of course, I'm sure Auntie Donna anticipated the fury of people calling. And I would suggest in the future just tell people you have a little surprise and a giveaway, and don't let them know what the giveaway is. And when they call in, you can write their names down on a piece of paper, put it in a bag, shake up the bag on live, and pick two names out of the bag. And whoever you pick, those are the ones who are going to get the laptop. And then you can reveal the prize. Don't let people know the prize, because you know it's going to be a mad rush to get those laptops. Every minute your phone is going to be ringing off the hook. Okay, that's what I wanted to say on that. Now, getting back to this story of this college student who needed help in paying her tuition. Her tuition is sizable. When she said how much it was, I was like, whoa, that's like living in the U.S. Of course, the U.S. is more money, but still, it was a sizable school fee. So she said it's $28,000 for the year, but every semester is $14,000. And you know, there are two semesters in a year. You have the September to December, and then January to April. Those are your two semesters, and it's $28,000. Now, where is a Jamaican person who is not rich? So she was seeking donations or, just some type of help. And she appeared in the Gleaner, and she was lucky enough for Auntie Donna to read the story. Auntie Donna decided that would be her project to help this young lady, because she did say she's not building homes anymore on this particular program. And so when you are not involved in something like building homes anymore, and building homes are, keeps you busy. And she's used to being busy. So she picked up a new banter. She picked up this new project of helping college students, and this is the first college student that she's going to be helping, and she said more to come. So when Auntie Donna saw in the Gleaner, she said this is going back December 15, when she saw in the Gleaner where this student, Carly, needed, Auntie Donna said she saw the amount of $4 million. And Auntie Donna said, okay, if I can raise at least $1 million, that will help her out. So Auntie Donna started to push for this fundraiser for $1 million. And she said she is pretty close. And quite a few business people, professors, lawyers, doctors started to donate. But I'm glad this young lady is being very cautious of when she's out and about to wear her mask, because I did notice that Auntie Donna was right up on her, close to her, because she told her she was going to put her on the live. And that young lady was not taking her mask off. Auntie Donna said, you can take your mask off. And she said she prefer not to. And Auntie Donna then said, okay, I'm going to push my chair back so you can take your mask off for viewers to see you and hear you properly. And that's when she took her mask off. But since everyone has started to wear masks, it's kind of hard to understand people sometimes, especially if they're not clear with their words. And for other people, most of us read lips. When a person is speaking, you're not only looking into their eyes, you're looking at their mouth. And you go back and forth from the eyes to the mouth, the eyes to the mouth. So when the mask is on, it eliminates reading lips. So now you got to really, really focus on hearing the words. And sometimes it's muff through the mask. It's not you cannot decipher it sometimes, the words that are being spoken. But let me tell you, Auntie Donna said she was interviewing the young lady, and I was beginning to wonder to myself. I said, this is one interview that this young lady will never, ever forget, because I have never seen so many interruptions in an interview in my life. You name it, it was interrupting the interview. Auntie Donna was screaming for her, for I think her son to bring something. And then when he brought it out, I think it was her phone stand. The young lady was talking, so she had to stop. And then here comes the trucks. And then here comes somebody walking, dragging their feet. And then here comes a couple of people. And then it was just constant. It's like every 2 seconds there was an interruption. And this young lady was trying to speak and talk, because Donna said, okay, go ahead and tell me X, Y, and Z. And as she was asking her the questions and the young lady was attempting to answer, it was constant interruption. I don't know. I would not have been able to go through with that interview. I would have had to say, you know what, But I guess when you need money for tuition, you can withstand almost anything. And then Donna continued her questioning. And for those people who said this was a scam and this young lady was scamming, I think this interview erased all of the naysayers and those who had doubts in their mind that this was legit and this young lady was a scammer. It erased those doubts and fears, because she showed proof that she is indeed a college student. She showed proof of how much is needed for her tuition, the balance. She had, all those things ready. And Auntie Donna said, how come you didn't bring any ID? You did not walk with any ID to show me, that you are a student at this college or at this university. She said, I'm paraphrasing. She said, I have better. I have better than an ID. I can show you my enrollment status and the fact that I am a student, and I'll show you it online. So that's even better, because as you guys know, anybody can forge an ID. But if you say you're enrolled in a college or a university, it's hard for people to scam or forge that, because you have to go through the administration office and the enrollment office and the bursar and all of that. And you have to be in the system. And she showed proof where she was in the system. So for all those people who were in doubt that she was legit, this put the nail in the coffin. They can shut up now. They don't have nothing to say that she's a scammer. Now they know for sure she's not. So Donna was asking her, well, how many donations have you had so far since you were on the Gleaner and you were asking for help? She said about 3 people. And Donna said, well, did you come close to your goal of meeting the tuition? She said, no, not even close. And I guess, she's a student. Not a lot of people thought she was legit. So of course, those people who didn't think she was legit got on social media and bashed her and scared everybody else from donating. So she only got three donations. But the fact that Auntie Donna reached out to her and she was at the Planka shop, a lot of people started to donate. All the doctors and the lawyers and everybody there in the business world started to donate because they see, okay, Auntie Donna is going to screen her. She's going to make sure she's not a fraud, and so their worries, they didn't have to worry anymore. They felt free in donating. So quite a bit of donations were raised. I'm sure by the time Auntie Donna was finished with the interview, which lasted about half an hour, I would say, or close to an hour. I'm sure by the time she was finished doing the interview, she had raised that $1 million that she wanted. But before she started, she said she was close to it. So I'm sure the goal was accomplished. So Auntie Donna was explaining to her, Carolee, the college student, that I'm not going to give you the money directly. I'm going to pay the tuition directly to the college. But on the day of everything being transferred, there's going to be some type of ceremony here. And everybody who is involved in your plight to raise money will be mentioned and they will be thanked. And so this student realized, I guess she realized, it's not so easy to get money from Auntie Donna and her donors. You really have to be up and up, legit. They're going to show you, ask you for ID. If you say you're a student, they're going to want to see the school. They're going to want to see ID, enrollment, etc. So all those wannabe or would-be scammers who thought they would do the same thing, now I guess they're thinking twice because they saw where it's not so easy to pull one over on Auntie Donna because you will be interrogated. That's what it felt like to me, that this young lady was being interrogated, and then Donna got up a couple of times and said to her, talk to the people, I'll be back. So all that is to gauge her, it really was to gauge her. But she didn't say anything. She was quiet and she was just reading the comments. She's kind of a quiet person by and large, but well spoken. And you can tell that she is in school. But what I like was the donors, some of them anyway, when they called to donate money, they also wanted to speak to Carly and give her some hope, and they told her to not listen to the naysayers and the negative people, but stand strong, be strong, finish school, because there are not a lot of pathologists. She wants to be a forensic pathologist, and there are not a lot out there. They're just, and I don't think there are any female forensic pathologists in Jamaica. So they were giving her encouragement to finish and go through the program because it's well worth it. And some of the callers said, oh, she's nervous. I don't think she was nervous. She just wanted to get out of there because she had other things to do. And then she was a little uncomfortable, I felt, because everybody around her, though people weren't wearing masks at Auntie Donna, and there were people coming and going, and she was in the midst of all of that. And I think she felt uncomfortable because every time Auntie Donna would hand her the phone to talk to someone, she would sanitize her hands. And when people started to come by to say hello to Auntie Donna at a planker shop, she put her mask back on. So she was not going to take any chances with her health. And I like that about her, because a lot of people take this coronavirus, they don't take it seriously at all. They take it with a grain of salt, like if it's a joke. So one of the donors made a suggestion to her in the future, if she should need money, she should do a fundraiser on the internet, which everyone does. If you need money, that's what you do. You do a fundraiser, like a GoFundMe. And she would raise a lot more money, I'm sure. In any event, it ended with the young lady getting a ride back to the main station so she can catch a bus back to her home. But I would suggest to Auntie Donna, anytime she's doing an interview, she's got to choose a quieter spot, because that was too hectic. Even I was getting a headache from all the yelling and the screaming, and it sounded like they were drilling the streets are drilling something, and then the kids were yelling, and people were talking loud, saying hello to Auntie Donna, and she was screaming. I guess beggars can be choosers. When you're asking for help, you have to endure a lot of stuff. And this young lady deserved the help because she had to endure all of that. So these are my final thoughts in this matter. If I was in Auntie Donna's shoe, I would have insisted on seeing an ID. And the ID I would have asked for 2 IDs. A state ID, like a main ID, a work ID, and a school ID. And I would have called the school to see if she was enrolled there. I would have called the Boursa office or the admissions office to see if she was enrolled. Because even if she turns the money over to the school, Auntie Donna turns the money over to the school, and it end up being a scam, then it would be a lot of work for nothing. You know what I mean? So I would get all that squared away first, then interview her, then call the school while she's sitting right there. I would like to think that she's on the up and up and it's not a scam, but some of the sweetest people in the world will scam you and you think it's on the up and up and it's not. So in today's society, really, you can't trust people, unfortunately. So that's what I would have done. I would have told her on the phone before she came, bring 2 forms of ID, and know that I'm going to call the school to check you out while you are here. So YouTubers, that is my little 2 cents. YouTubers, I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you.